Dead meme
has fallen into the river in Lego City. Start the new rescue helicopter.
So when I saw these old adverts trending on Reddit in January, it gave me a massive kick of nostalgia in the balls. Lego City was the shit, and seeing the old adverts for my favourite Lego series really was a great feeling. And then quarantine happened, and there were so many branches of mini collections from this set. The police collection, firefighter collection, train collection, airport collection, they were all so bloody good. I stopped collecting Lego back in 2015 because I started losing interest and there's just no room for me to probably keep these. Nowadays they're just kept under my bed collecting dust. I just don't have time for them anymore. But while my time with building structures in real life is long gone, I'm still into games. And, as it just so happens, these brilliant string of Lego sets were combined together to make two of my favourite and most memorable games on the 3DS and Wii U. Lego City Undercover, coming soon in 2013 to the amazing Wii U. Citation, the Wii U was not amazing and was one of the worst marketed consoles by Nintendo. The awesome chase begins in Lego City. Players chase McCain and create mayhem in an expansive open world. Drive exotic cars, rob from banks and mansions, work your way up from the bottom to the top, visit landmarks from different slices of America. It's Grand Theft Auto. For kids. It's GTA for 7-year-olds. This game was released the same year as GTA 5 and, not gonna lie, this game was maybe trying to capitalise off of that. They both steal diamonds, you steal a car as a repo job, you work for the boss of a major crime cartel. There are certainly similarities, yeah, but hell, Lego City was a great substitute for younger players that wanted an immersive open world. In this video, I'll go over both the Wii U and 3DS versions of this underrated gem and describe what they both intake and give my opinion on them, as well as assess why this game is so underrated compared to other Lego games. So, let's just get started. In order, the 3DS game comes before the Wii U title canonically. It's set 2 years before the console version and, like most handheld ports, is an awful lot simpler than its console counterpart. The graphics are passable for the time it was released, I guess. The render distance is very short too, and that's probably so that the game won't crash by loading an entire portion of Lego City at once. And a quick side note about the loading, it takes a long ass time to load a new area. You could go out, buy Hollow Knight, complete the Speedrunner 2 achievement, kill the Hollow Knight without taking any damage, and refund the game before Lego City finishes rendering Auburn. It's comparable to fucking Sonic 06. Shading and depth is very limited, and the best shading you'll get is from pre-rendered cutscenes. Looking at this from an outside view, I can see why this game hasn't been talked about a lot, but there's more to it than meets the eye. Gameplay is also pretty basic. Oh Jesus. Much like the LEGO Jurassic World 3DS game, Lego City Undercover The Chase Begins features an area-by-area structure. You start off in Cherry Tree Hills, the LEGO version of San Francisco, and end up going to places based off of Alcatraz, North Dakota, and even Texas. Each area has a specific disguise you can acquire and gain new abilities for. You start off as a police officer, then become a farmer, firefighter, crook, construction worker, miner, even astronaut. It's simple for sure, but each mission you do is fairly unique. There are different formats for each individual assignment, and that's part of what made it so memorable for me, and like every other LEGO game in existence, you could build structures from little hopping bricks to allow you to progress. And that's pretty much it for gameplay. Both 3DS and Wii U versions have this structure, apart from the area restriction part of the Wii U port. They fixed the loading, sorta, and made it so you just do one long load into a fully rendered Lego City. Now you can collect an entire Pokédex and level all Pokemon up to the max and still be done before you can explore Lego City. Excellent. There are no free roam areas that require loading, just free roam. Thank God for that. But the loading is not the only notable improvement to the Wii U version, as the shading and textures are much more defined, and no fog. The animation looks more fluid, there's a greater array of vehicles, and they even added more areas to the Wii U port. All the original areas from the 3DS are still there, it's just that now there is a bit of Miami, an airport, 2 more New York locations, a Chinatown, and even the Golden Gate Bridge. You're not restricted by areas this time, so you can actually go from chunk to chunk freely, and characters finally talk outside of cutscenes. So that's what these two games are about. Gameplay boils down to chasing down criminals, infiltrating gangs, and bringing down the kingpin of Lego City, Forrest Blackwell. Oh, apart from the bit at the end where you skydive back down to the Earth from the moon. Okay, next thing to address is the plot. These two games are reliant on each other in order for the lore to make sense, so let's just get into this. At some point, probably in 2011, Chase McCain joins the LCPD and begins doing minor jobs around Cherry Tree Hills. Eventually, he's tasked with stopping a robbery at a car showroom and finds ties to the Knuckles gang. After some leads, he finds the leader and apprehends him. While all this is going on though, a reporter called Natalia Kowalski arrives and is there to assess the LCPD and do a news coverage on what they do. She'll be important later, but for now she just gives Chase a stud boner. After accomplishing this, he is then sent to Albatross Prison to investigate activity going on the island. He finds that gangs have formed and that the prisoners have taken over the island thanks to an unknown leader. Chase eventually stops criminals escaping by taking out the leader, but comes to find out that 5 other dangerous criminals escaped before he could stop them. Once he returns to the police station, he is tipped off about a powerful thug called Rex Fury, who is thought to be behind this, but the LCPD cannot arrest him and give evidence for his crimes yet, as there have been no instances where he has shown his face. That is very unrealistic, and I highly doubt that the actual police would be as generous in a situation like this, but it's whatever, I guess. It's a children's game. I'll believe it. Chase proceeds to apprehend 4 of the 5 crooks in Auburn, Flood Meadows, Apollo Island and Bluebell National Park while collecting several new abilities along the way. And remember Natalia? Yeah, she gets herself wrapped up in the goings-on and of course must be rescued by Chase. Once she is rescued, she reveals the evidence of Rex Fury kidnapping and keeping her hostage, meaning the LCPD can now put Rex behind bars with justification. She is then sent to Bluebell National Park to avoid detection and be safe from Rex's grasp. Once Chase arrests a gang leader in Bluebell though, Rex Fury appears and whacks him over the head with a pan like he was playing PUBG. Chase reveals that Natalia is no longer in Rex's grasp and he goes off to kidnap her. Again. Finally, Chase heads to downtown to stop several more violent crimes and rescue Natalia. Again. And after all of that, Chase finally confronts Rex doing a classic bank robbery, and after an intense chase and fight atop a lorry, Rex is defeated and Chase tells the press that Natalia is pressing charges, leading on to Natalia going into witness protection, messing up the LCPD and Chase getting deported. And that is the 3DS story in a nutshell. Wii U game is next. Alright, let's go. We skip ahead 2 years to 2013 and see Chase returning to Lego City and is immediately told by the mayor that Rex Fury has escaped and that he must stop him ASAP. Welcome to Lego City, guys! You get to the station and are introduced to Frank Honey, a character mostly used for comic effect. You get a brief tour of the station and are given the scanner and detective abilities. During this, the bank begins to get robbed by clowns. Is this a reference to Payday or the opening to Dark Knight? I don't know, but either way, you track down the crooks and you are now an LCPD officer. Again, some criminals are spotted atop a skyscraper based off of the Transamerica Pyramid, and Chase is given a grappling gun to catch them. One of the crooks reveal that they are working for Rex Fury, but doesn't know his location. He goes to Albatross Prison to find out how he escaped and finds a hammer with the Bluebell Mine logo on it after doing some digging. After this, he heads over to the mines to investigate, but gets bopped by Rex. Again. Feeling dumb, he has the bright idea to go to a kung fu dojo, and learn to physically harm people even more with pop culture reference number 70 over here. Well, he did get TKO'd a few minutes ago, so brain damage isn't unexpected. Also, side note, this game probably has the most references to other films and games compared to every other LEGO game. Count them off on your own, I'm not going through every single one of them. After this, the whole GTA charm becomes very clear, feeling as if you're going through Chinatown Wars and Vice City at the same time. This is because you then go into Cheng Chueng's gang, similar to GTA's Triads, and eventually work your way up to Vinny Pappalardo's gang, resembling the cartel that Tommy Vercetti works for. After all the gang work, rescuing people, including Natalia, again, and stealing, you find out, after infiltrating Lego City's secret criminal hideout in their version of Mount Rushmore, we find the big shocking reveal that the multi-billionaire Forrest Blackwell is the big bad kingpin. Which was foreshadowed so much that it's not really a massive reveal, but whatever. Natalia disappears. Again, seriously, you begin to wonder if she sells herself on eBay. Natalia's father, who was a scientist that was kidnapped when he refused to work for Blackwell and his schemes and is freed by Chase, helps Chase break into Blackwell's mansion to find evidence for his arrest. They find a prototype model of Dr. Kowalski's giant bubble, showing his intentions to make a base on the moon. don't know how exactly this means he's evil, but nonetheless, Blackwell Tower is found out to be a rocket and launches off to the moon with Blackwell and Rex Fury in it. Classic LEGO stuff. Chase follows in pursuit in a regular rocket and gets to the moon, where this base has suddenly sprawled out of nowhere. He gets inside, fights his way to the control room, and directs the rocket back to Earth. While it's on the way back, Chase and Rex have a super epic, super intense fight, twice in a row, the first being with them fighting mechs, and the second when they're in debris falling back to Earth. Now that's dedication. After defeating Rex again, Blackwell appears, claims he'll have his revenge, and gets knocked out of Earth's orbit, stranding him in space to die a slow and painful death. Chase McCain, the wacky LEGO City police officer. Then in the final moments, Natalia is revealed to be stuck on another piece of debris from the rocket, and you plummet down through other exploding parts of debris in an honestly breathtaking sequence for a LEGO game. Revisiting this game and playing through this part was really impressive, and I kind of forgot it was a LEGO game for the time being. But after you do this, you reach the debris, pull a lever to deploy the parachute of the craft they're in, and you all live happily ever after. Also, another Matrix reference. And that is the expanding lore of LEGO City explained very briefly and poorly. I slimmed it down quite a bit, but you get the idea. So, those are the two LEGO City games in a nutshell. Great open worlds, a unique and in-depth plot with plentiful pop culture references, decent gameplay. It's a fun time in both games. So why is it one of the least talked about games by TT Fusion? It's one of LEGO's few games that isn't based off of an existing film or universe and features some great exploration in a modern environment. Why is it just so easily forgotten? While I can't say for certain why these two games never grew to the same level as LEGO Batman or LEGO Dimensions, I have a couple thoughts as to why this game never became as successful. To start, the console version of the game first released exclusively for the Wii U and was only later released for the Xbox. Yeah, the Wii U. You know, the horribly marketed, community-confusing, awfully selling console that was almost as bad as the Virtual Boy back in 1995? Yeah, that probably had an impact on the revenue of the console version. Also, like I said before, the 3DS version has limitations and a rather repetitive structure. LEGO Jurassic World on the 3DS would go on to fix a few of the issues in LEGO City, but that sorta just left LEGO City in the dust to be forgotten by time. As well as this, the graphics, if you actually took a second to focus on them, are rather blurry and pixelated, pretty much summing up the limitations this game was presented with. But the thing that rounds the whole thing together was the lack of good advertisements. I don't remember seeing any TV ads for this game. Back in 2013, I would have spent my days either watching the television or just racing on Rainbow Road. I only found out about this game from the official LEGO site, from which I immediately knew I had to get this game. I'm sure there probably were TV ads, but from what I remember, there were none. But if you thought the console marketing was bad, wait until you see how the 3DS port was advertised. It wasn't. There was practically no advertising for the 3DS version. It was just a thing in existence. Now, add all of that together, and you got yourself an underachieving couple of games. It really is a shame that this is one of the least played LEGO games. It just has so much personality packed into it, but because of poor marketing and the fact that the console port came out on Wii U first, it never got a major spotlight. I'd recommend that if you ever see these two games, pick them up and you just have a blast with them. I still enjoyed my return to the two games after years of not playing either, and it was brilliant. So that's it for now, I think. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like or a sub, would be greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.